Hello students, welcome to today's little mini chat on sexting and its consequences. Hi, I want to give you a brief overview of the definitions of sexting. I want to show you how it can apply to you living in the state of Maryland and some of the problems that it can bring, and I also want to offer some solutions. Look at these urgent questions that you must be facing or may have discussed amongst yourselves. For example, is it a crime to text my boyfriend a nude picture of me? Or can I face legal troubles for looking at nude pics of my girlfriend on my phone? What is the answer to that? Maybe. Let's take a look at this federal definition. And it can trump state law, which we'll talk about in a moment, meaning Maryland state law. But look at this federal definition. It makes it illegal to produce, distribute, and receive or possess with intent to distribute any obscene visual depiction of a minor engaged in sexually explicit conduct. Knowing possession of such material without intent to distribute is also a crime. What does intent to distribute mean? It means you want to pass it along to people. So just having it can be a problem according to this law. So what is sexting? Since we've just realized it can really have a big impact on your legal situation. Well, sexting is the sending of nude, suggestive, or sexually explicit photos by electronic means, and that means usually by cell phone. In the state of Maryland, it is a crime to show or send a minor nude or suggestive pictures. So remember, when you think about a minor, it's under age 18. So for example, what if an 18-year-old senior at your high school texts a nude pic of his girlfriend that she sent to him? That could be a problem, because if he sends it to another minor, that's breaking the law. Keep that in mind as you approach your 18th birthday. As I researched this topic, I found that many districts will err on the side of not prosecuting, especially if it's minors texting other minors, if you're, both under 18 or if it gets passed around. But many students will turn 18 during their high school career. So it's very important to keep that in mind when you're making these choices of what to photograph and what to pass around. For example, look at the penalties. Each case is considered uniquely, but, quote, child pornography is punishable up to 10 years of imprisonment. And look how much the fines could be, $25,000. I got this quote, sexting, it is not worth it, from a female freshman in Ohio. In 2015, she ended up sharing an explicit photo of herself with a young man she was dating, but then it ended up in the hands of a guy she started talking to a few weeks later. And the second guy had posted it on Instagram. And guess what? The principal found out. The principal, as educators, and principals are educators, they are what we call mandatory reporters. We are held to very strict standards as teachers and administrators. When we find out there's any kind of, sexual misconduct, we are obligated by law to report that. So in this case, the principal was called and to review the situation, and the principal had to call the police. When the police got involved, there were some pretty big consequences. Her parents found out. She was embarrassed at school. She was grounded with no phone for 6 months. Again, that was her family's choice. But beyond her family, she was kicked off the cheerleading squad. And she wasn't, in the end, registered as a sex offender, but that fear really weighed upon her. What are some other potential problems? You may fall into the trap of this culture of oversharing where you share so many details of your life, everything to what movie you're going to the dessert you're eating, which is fun. But don't cross the line and end up with embarrassing, naked, or suggestive or explicit things that you'll probably regret when you're older. And remember, it may cause criminal charges. Right here in Edgewater, Maryland, a teenager was charged for distribution and possession of child pornography because he posted explicit photos on Instagram. It's going to cause family stress. You may feel shameful when your parents find out. How about if your family has to pay legal bills? That's very stressful. Keep in mind, you might have to deal with revenge porn if you break up with someone and they pass that picture around that you originally just meant for one person. And finally, in extreme cases, you may have to register as a sex offender. So what about in Maryland? It's illegal to possess sexually explicit materials where the minor in the photo or the act is under the age of 16. It's illegal to ask for a minor to be the subject of an image. So it's breaking the law if you're asking your 15, 16-year-old girlfriend or 15 and a half girlfriend for that explicit picture. And it is illegal to use a computer or cell phone to describe a minor engaging in a sexual act. And again, I said before, it may be overlooked if you are both minors, but if you're 18 and your partner is a minor, you should really look out and think twice. What are some solutions? Well, in my research, what I found is there's a very strong push and recommendation to delete the image immediately. If it's sent to you, just get rid of it immediately. That way it's no longer on you, you don't have it, you're not tempted to share it. Deleting the image can prevent potential legal ramifications and prevent it from going viral. If it's deleted, there's no chance of it being passed around, right? And then inform the sender that sent you the picture or the image or the video that you don't want to receive any more of those images. Lastly, I would like you to consider looking at your local district, whatever county that you attend, your public school or private school. I'm sure that online they have a resource sheet for what to do if you feel harassed or if you just don't know what to do and you have either sent something that you regret or you've received something. For Montgomery County, on their website, they have a resource sheet that lists emergency numbers, like the local police and a cyber tip line. They offer several websites to learn about staying safe and what your legal options would be. One of the weaknesses of some sites that I found that teach problems with oversharing online, netsmartkids.org, that would appeal to some basic lessons as far as not sharing phone numbers, home addresses with people that you don't know, but it would just appeal to the younger students. And I just wanted to list at the end some references, especially direct you to some of the articles I read. One Girl's Story, Sex Scene, It's Not Worth It, was very interesting. Marinick, that was a defense attorney located in Baltimore with several helpful tips. Bottom line, do not do anything without really thinking through the consequences of what might happen to you or the person that you send the image to. Take the long view. Think, ooh, could this come back to haunt me when I'm applying to colleges or jobs? Thank you.